Hello rail fans, and welcome to another French Fried Trains Minecraft locomotive tutorial. Today we've got something really special for you here. We're going to be building the DDA40X, otherwise known as the Union Pacific Centennial. This was the largest single-frame diesel-electric locomotive ever made at 98 feet long, and also one of the most powerful, rated at 6,600 horsepower. And even though this is considered a single locomotive, it's actually two prime movers and generator sets and everything that goes with it stuck together back to back on a single frame. It was also the first locomotive to have the safety cab with the standard body. Before that, all safety cab locomotives were wide bodies. So as you can see, this is a really special locomotive. So let's get right into it here. As usual, I'll be building it on the front of the train I already have. The first step is to take a dark oak stair to be the coupler and get it connected up. Underneath that, a dark oak fence gate for an air hose. Then come on the locomotive behind it, delete these two fence gates, and replace them with dark oak fences to be the connected air hoses and cables. Down on the rails in front of that, we're going to take a row of 3 cyan terracotta and then 5 cyan terracotta above that. Then we're going to go ahead and come around on the top here, put a temporary block on the corner, and then red nether brick stairs upside down facing forward, and a row of 5 coming across. Come around behind that with cyan terracotta, and we're going to make this T-shape section. Then down above each rail on bottom, an end rod for light. Behind that, back to cyan terracotta, and we're going to make a 5x3 coming across to each side of the rails here. Now we'll build the first truck, and this uses a DD truck arrangement, meaning 4 axles on each truck. So skip a block back, down on the rails, and get a block of netherite on each rail to be the wheels with an end rod for an axle. Behind that, 2 rows of 3 polished blackstone block. Then another set of netherite wheels with an end rod axle, and another 2 rows of polished blackstone block. Then netherite wheels again with an end rod axle, 2 rows of 3 polished blackstone block, and netherite on each rail with an end rod axle. Then take a dark oak fence gate, and we're going to open it into the ends of the wheels on this end to be the sanders, and open it into the ends of the wheels on this end. Now I'm going to be building this in a different order of operations than my normal order for building locomotives, just because this thing's so long, and I had to make sure the length was correct and proper placement of parts before we built everything. So bear with me, because this one's going to be a little different than our normal tutorials. So we're going to start in that top middle block there and start bringing a single line of cyan terracotta down, and this line needs to be a total of 48 blocks long from where we just started. And make sure you take your time and count this out right, or nothing's going to line up later. Alright, and once we have that line out, 48 blocks long, we'll start working on the plow down on this end here. So we're going to come up under the very end of this line of blocks here, still with cyan terracotta, and get 1 coming down. On bottom, 1 on each side, so it's 3 wide, and above that, 2 on each side, so it's 5 wide. Then we'll put a temporary block on the corner, and upside down forward facing red nether brick stairs in a line 5 across the top. Then we'll put cyan terracotta on bottom middle here, and then up on top, and extend it out on either side by 1 like that. Then an end rod down above each rail on bottom on each side. Then another one on bottom, and we need to extend this out 2, so it ends up being a 5x3. Now we'll do the other of the 4 axle trucks on this end of the locomotive. So take out a block of netherite to be your wheel. We're going to skip one block back behind this on bottom, and we're going to get a netherite on each rail with an end rod axle. Then 2 rows of 3 polished black stone block, another set of netherite wheels with an end rod axle, 2 more rows of 3 polished black stone block, then netherite wheels with an end rod axle, another 2 rows of 3 polished black stone blocks, and a final set of netherite wheels with an end rod for the axle. Then take a dark oak fence gate, open them into the ends of the wheels here, and we got to open them into the ends of the wheels on this side as well. After that, take out a dark oak stair to be the coupler on this end and get it stacked up to that second block. Delete the ones you use for placement. Put a dark oak fence gate underneath for an air hose, and then to either side of the coupler, open a dark oak fence gate into the plow. Now take out a polished andesite slab here, and on this bottom corner indent, put one on the top hitbox. Same thing on the other side here. And we're also going to use these to do our stairs to get on the locomotive. So in this gap here, we're going to put 3 polished andesite slabs coming up on the bottom hitboxes of all 3 blocks. Same thing on this side, 3 coming up here. Then we'll go down and do that on the far end. So same thing here, 1 on this bottom corner, and then 3 coming up on the bottom hitboxes to be stairs. And then same thing over here, 1 on the bottom corner and 3 coming up. Now we're going to work on the detailing for the trucks on the side. So take out a regular andesite stair and a regular andesite slab. A slab here, then an upside down forward facing stair, skip the wheel. Another forward facing stair upside down, turn around in a backwards one, skip the wheel, another backward stair and a slab. So it should look like that. We have to do this on all sides of the truck. So a slab, upside down forward facing stair, skip the wheel, forward facing stair, backward facing stair, skip the wheel, backward facing stair, slab. And we're going to repeat this same pattern over here. So a slab, a stair, turn around, a stair, skip the wheel, a stair, and a slab. And 1 more corner to go here. So a slab and a stair, skip the wheel, a stair, turn around, stair, skip the wheel, stair, and a slab. Now we're going to decide which end's the front. Mine's going to be facing the void, making this the engineer side. And the bell's weird on this one. The bell goes up here on the engineer side, behind the plow. Now we'll frame in the fuel tank. So on this front end, we're going to leave a 2 block gap between where those fence gates are and the front of the fuel tank. So come 2 blocks back and put a block on bottom and extend it out by 1 on either side. On the rear end, it's directly in front of those fence gates, so put a block on bottom here and extend it out by 1 on either side of cyan terracotta. Then we're going to take polished andesite stairs and put them upside down facing outward, and just make an entire row coming from this back of the fuel tank to where we marked off the front of the fuel tank there. And just bring it all the way up here till it connects with this block. And we'll do the same thing over on the other side. Upside down, outward facing stairs, and connect it up. And just keep bringing it forward. This is actually the largest single fuel tank ever made for a locomotive. Now we're going to swing around on top with our cyan terracotta, and on either side of this middle beam, fill in a full row going end to end on either side so the whole thing's 3 wide. Now we'll finish off the truck detail, so take out a regular andesite slab, and above each wheel put a single slab, just like this. Same thing down here, above each wheel put a single slab. course, we got to do the other side. So a slab above all 4 of these wheels. And one more corner to go here. A slab above all 4 of these wheels on this end here. Then we're going to take out a grindstone, come underneath on the side here, and everywhere there's a wheel, hang an upside down grindstone in front of the wheel. And same thing down on this end here, upside down grindstones in front of all the wheels. And then we got to do it on the other side. So grindstones in front of these 4 wheels. And one more corner to go, come down here. Upside down grindstones in front of all 4 of these wheels. Now normally at this point we would do the air tanks next, but I'm not going to do that till much later because I don't want to miscalculate them. Once we have the top of the locomotive built, we can use that as a guide for where the air tanks go. So we're going to come on front, where we left this gap between the truck and the fuel tank, because there's actually a ladder to get up right here. We're going to come on the bottom, and in between here we're going to put a row of 3 cyan terracotta. Then we're going to switch to polish andesite stairs, and 2 of them right side up stacked up to be the ladder to get up right here. Same thing on this side, 2 stairs stacked up. Now take out a chain, put a chain in that gap there. We can't over there because of the bell. And put a chain in between here and here. Same thing on this side, a chain on each side of these stairs here. Come down to the other end. Put a chain here and here in this gap, and finally a chain up in these 2 corners. Then on this 3rd block up, we're going to go back to cyan terracotta, and we're going to fill in this middle top 3 going end to end. Then knock out this corner block by the stairs here, put an upside down red nether brick stair, and start a row of upside down stairs on the top facing outward. Come down to where this ladder is. We're going to switch over to polish andesite stairs again and put one more right here to complete this ladder coming up. Then back to red nether brick upside down and bring it all the way down to the other end of the locomotive. Just keep it coming here. Make sure they're all upside down. I was having some trouble there. Bring it all the way down, and when we get to the corner, we'll go ahead and knock out this corner too and put it upside down red nether brick stair. And we're going to do that exact same thing all down the other side. And actually, I just realized the top 2 stairs on this side ladder are white, so we're going to knock out these top 2 and replace them with smooth quartz stairs. Same thing over here. Knock out the top 2, smooth quartz stairs. Sorry about that. Now we're going to start the cab, so come up on the front end here, 2 blocks in from the end. And on each side, we're going to make a 2x2 of yellow concrete, leaving a gap in the middle because the door is actually in the middle on this one. Then we'll put 1 block on the insides of each one and a block of glowstone in the middle for the headlight. Then on the outsides we'll put outward facing oak stairs. Behind it we're going to make a 2x2 of yellow concrete on each side. Then dark prismarine stairs outward facing on each side. And 2 rows of dark prismarine blocks coming across the top here like that. On the outsides behind it, a column of 3 yellow concrete on either side. Then we're going to switch to light blue stained glass block for our front windows. Put 2 glass blocks, then a cyan terracotta goes in the middle here to be the window divider, and then 2 more glass blocks. Then behind this, we're going to make a 3x2 of yellow concrete. The cab's extra large on this one. Then we're going to put red nether brick on either side in a row of 3 for the locomotive number, and light blue stained glass panes down the side for the side windows. Behind that, a column of 4 yellow concrete coming up. And actually it's 3 yellow concrete with cyan terracotta on top. Once we have that, still using our cyan terracotta, we'll come around on front above the windows here. And we're going to fill in this top middle 3 with cyan terracotta. And we'll bring that back to complete the roof of the cab, bring it all the way to the back of the cab. Then on the sides above the windows, we're going to put a row of right side up polished andesite stairs facing outward on either side. Come on the front middle of the cab here because it has a rotating orange caution light, and we'll use a conduit for that so it actually lights up. Then we're going to go in and take out an iron trap door here, and behind that we're going to make 2 rows of 3 trap doors coming across. Come behind the cab here, 1 in from the outside, and make a column of 2 yellow concrete on each side. Then a column of 3 yellow concrete with cyan terracotta above that. This locomotive actually has a back door on each side. Then we'll extend out 1 cyan terracotta row of 3 above that doorway. Then we'll extend the cyan terracotta row back by another 2 on each side. Above those, we're going to put 3 polished basalt on each side with the pattern facing vertical and fill in the middle with cyan terracotta. I'm going to use all the vents and fans back here to measure everything on the locomotive. So now we made another row of 3 cyan terracotta with cyan terracotta underneath it on each side. And now we're just going to extend a single layer of cyan terracotta, 3 across the top, all the way down to the back of the locomotive. And actually it looks like I came too far here, so knock out this row of 3 and then the outside blocks. And then we're going to make that come up to the bottom with yellow concrete in the middle and on each side. So now our basic locomotive shape is framed in here, and we're going to work on all the vents and fans, and that will allow us to measure out where everything else goes. So we're going to come back up to the front on top, on the side here, in front of where we made these air intakes. We're going to skip 1 block behind that and put a forward-facing polished andesite stair on each side. Then 1 outward-facing polished andesite stair on each side. So 1 here and 1 over here. Then 3 outward-facing, upside-down polished blackstone brick stairs on either side for the dynamic brake radiator. Now we're going to come on this top middle here, and I'm making it daytime real quick, and lined up with the front stair in the very center, we're going to get a regular blackstone slab to be the exhaust and put it right in the center here. Then we're going to come behind that with polished andesite slabs, skip a block back, and make a plus shape for the dynamic brake fan. Then skip a block of space, start another fan, then a second attached like this, and a third. These are the cooling fans for this prime mover. Now we're going to continue the radiator vents for the front prime mover here. So a polished andesite stair upside down facing outward, 1 of them. Then we're going to switch back to blackstone brick stairs upside down and bring a line down until it's lined up with the back fan. Then 1 more andesite on back. So same thing, an andesite back here and there, and fill this all in with polished blackstone brick stairs upside down and facing outward. Now we'll skip a block back and start doing the radiator fans for the second prime mover. So skip 1 block back in the middle, polish andesite slab, make a plus shape, and a second one connected, and a third one. Then we'll skip 1 block forward and make another one for the dynamic brake fan. Then another row of upside down, outward facing, polished blackstone brick stairs coming to the front of those 3 fans, 1 andesite, 3 polished blackstone brick, 1 andesite, and and then one andesite facing forward. Same pattern over here. So a row of polished blackstone brick to the front of these fans, one polished andesite, 3 polished blackstone brick, 1 polished andesite, and 1 polished andesite facing that way. Then a regular blackstone slab in the middle, lined up with the end of the stairs there for the exhaust on this end. Then we can come on back here and start filling some of this in with yellow concrete, coming from the bottom up to the cyan terracotta. And for now we'll just fill it in up to where these stairs are, just so we can work on the vents on the back here real quick. So fill in this side as well, all with yellow concrete. Then we're going to skip 1 block behind where the stairs are, and we have to put our air intakes on this end for this engine. So we're going to knock out 3 on each side, and we're going to put polished basalt on each side with the pattern going vertical. Now we're going to come underneath here with yellow concrete and start filling in the sides some more. So go ahead and start bringing yellow concrete forward. We're going to bring it right to where that single polished andesite stair is on the side. And just fill this all in right up to that line. And there's actually a walkway between the 2 different engines. So we're going to come around like this and fill this in. And then we'll fill in this side. So once we're done, we're going to have a gap right under where that single polished andesite stair is on the side for the walkway that's in the middle of this locomotive. So once it's all filled in, it should look like that here. And like I said, there's going to be a walkway here. So we're going to skip 1 block forward and come on the top and fill in this middle 3 with yellow concrete. And we'll just go ahead and bring that right down to the bottom, so we have that nice walkway. Then we're just going to continue on with our yellow concrete and bring it all forward to the front here. Do that on the other side as well. So once we're done, we should be looking like this, with that gap under that single polished andesite stair there. Come on the side behind the cab here, and we're actually going to lower these doors down by 1 block because the blower goes right here on this side and there won't be enough room for 2 stairs. So put a yellow concrete right there behind the cab on bottom, and we're going to knock out these 2 yellow blocks on the inside to lower the door down. And then we'll put 1 concrete here for a stair there as well. It actually, to have the blower placed right, I think we need to move this air intake out the front here. So we're going to come on top here. I'm going to delete 1 behind it and put polished basalt. And we'll delete that front one and put cyan terracotta to move that back by 1 block. Then we're going to come over on this side to do the blower on this side with yellow stained glass pane. Start 1 block from that stair and make 3 rows of 3 yellow stained glass pane for the blower. Then the blower for the second prime mover is on this side on the back because the engines face opposite ways. So under where this polished basalt is, put 3 rows of 3 stained glass pane for the blower on this end. Now we'll do the air tanks. So on the conductor side here, start at the back of the fuel tank with an anvil and bring a line of anvils forward till it's aligned with this gap here. There's only 1 air tank on this side. On this engineer side, there's 2 air tanks. So we're going to be doing the same thing here using a line of anvils for the locomotive's air tanks. We'll start at the back of the fuel tank here, and we're going to bring a line forward, stopping just before that gap. Then we're going to come in from the front of the fuel tank with a line of anvils and bring it back until there's a 3 gap space between the 2 air tanks. Come in this gap here and we're going to put a player head on each side to be fuel caps, and a crimson button in the middle for the emergency shutoff. This is one tank, but it has 2 fuel filling ports. Otherwise, this giant 8,000 gallon tank would just take too long to fill. Now come around to this other side, and we're actually going to knock out this front anvil. I made it too long. And same thing, we're going to put 2 player heads with a crimson button in the middle for this side. Now we're going to do our doors, so put a door in this gap, and I forgot to fix this when we lowered the door earlier, so go in and get your cyan terracotta again, and put a cyan terracotta above the door. We'll do the same thing on this side, because it has doors on both sides here. So we're going to put a door in there with cyan terracotta above it. Then we're going to put a door in the center of the nose, and we're going to knock out the second block up on either side of the door, and put lapis in there for the UP logo. We can't have red in the middle because our door is right there, unfortunately. Now we're going to put 3 yellow carpet across the top front of the nose here. Then we're going to come on top here, and we're going to switch to gray carpet, and we're going to start filling in this entire roof with gray carpet everywhere that we have not built something. So we need to cover all this polished basalt, come around these fans, even out on the dynamic brake blister here, and just keep coming around everything. And just keep coming all around these fans here. And we're going to do that all the way down to the back of the locomotive. And I just realized a mistake. There's a slightly raised section above these air intakes. So knock out this 3x3 of carpet, and we're going to fill that 3x3 in with iron trap doors. Then we're going to have to go up and do it for the air intake up here too. So knock out this 3x3, and we'll go ahead and fill that with a 3x3 of iron trap doors as well. Now we're going to come on top here, and we're going to knock out the center block of every single one of these fans. So just keep coming back and knocking out all these center blocks. Then we're going to come through with a block of coal and replace those center blocks all with a block of coal. Then we're going to put an oak trap door in the center of all these fans to make some detail. Now we're going to come up on this front porch here and knock out the right hand block on this second block back and put gray wall. Then gray carpet to make a T-shaped pattern here. Then we're going to come down the side here, put gray carpet on that stair and right there, gray carpet here, and we're going to extend the gray carpet till it lines up with the fuel tank. Everywhere above the fuel tank, we're going to switch to iron trap doors because this walkway is actually graded to save weight in that section. Once we get to the back of the fuel tank, we switch back to gray carpet and bring it down to the end here. Then we can knock out this block and put gray wool, then a T-shape of gray carpet on back, continue gray carpet around, skip where that blower is, start bringing it up to the fuel tank. When we get to the fuel tank, same thing, we switch to iron trap doors. And we bring iron trap doors forward, even through that gap, and then forward to the front of the fuel tank. Once we reach the front of the fuel tank, we switch back to gray carpet, and bring gray carpet forward, and even up on that stair. Now we'll do our railings, so take out a birch fence. Start on bottom of the front here, come up by 4, then over 2, and make that a 2x2. Same thing here, come up by 4, over 2, and make it a 2x2. Then on this side, we're going to come up by 4. Same thing here, up by 4 on this side. And I just realized the middle ones are supposed to be gray, so knock out these 2x2s. We don't have gray fences I'm going to use warp fence, but you can use whatever substitution color you want for the gray railings. So I'm going to take out a warp fence here and replace those 2x2s with warp fence. Now we'll come down and work on the rear for the railings, and it's going to be the same pattern. So we'll start on bottom with birch, we'll come up 4, then a 2x2 of warped, a 2x2 of warped here, and come up 4 from the bottom with birch here. Then on this side, we'll come up 4 from the bottom with birch. Same thing here, come up 4 from the bottom with birch. Then I'm switching back to warped and attaching it up here, and I'm going to start running this forward towards the front of the locomotive. Just keep bringing it forward past the fuel tank here. And we're going to come all the way up to where we made those stairs on the side. And it actually turns to white railings here, so we're going to switch that one for birch. And we're going to bring it down by 4 here for the railings to climb up these stairs. Then we're going to skip over one and delete the middle block and bring this side down with birch as well. Then back to warp, and we'll come forward till we get this stair, up 1 and over 2 to connect to the cab. So it should look like that. Now we got to do the same thing on the other end. So come around the back here with warped and connect it up there and start bringing it forward. And it's going to be that same kind of thing. When we get to those stairs in front of the fuel tank, we got to switch back over to birch. So keep coming forward with it here. All the way up to the front of the fuel tank here. And then that first one on the side of the stair needs to be birch, and we'll bring it down so it's 4 tall. Then we'll skip over by 1 and delete the middle one, come back up with the birch, then switch back to warp and come forward till we get to the stair, up 1 and over 2 to connect. Now we're going to come work on the back of the locomotive, because I just realized the rear end isn't pointy like other locomotives, so we got to fix that. So we're going to come on the rear, knock out this carpet, and then we're going to stack up 4 yellow concrete, and stack up 4 yellow concrete on the other side. Cyan terracotta on top, and gray carpet on top of that. So the back end is flat like this. Then the ladder's actually in the middle here, so we're going to knock out this middle one and put gray wool in the middle. Then we'll put an item frame in the top middle with a glowstone for a headlight, and run a ladder up the middle. Then we're going to put a button on each side like that, and then a sign. And on this rear end here, the left hand just says UP, then the right hand has the locomotive number, and the number for this one is going to be 6936. Then this one has low ditch lights, so they're not going to be on the fences. They're going to be down on the red nether brick stairs. And I put them wrong at first. They need to be 1 in from the sides. So put item frames with glowstone if you want rear ditch lights. Now we're going to come and detail the front end of the locomotive here. So go ahead and come all the way up front here. And we'll do the same thing. 2 item frames down here with glowstone for the ditch lights. Then we'll come up on the sides above the windows with our sign. And this has the locomotive number on each side on front. So 6936. And another sign on the other side with 6936. Now we need to make some banners, so come into a loom. We're going to use a white banner and red dye and put vertical red stripes on. come down to the back of the conductor side here under this polished basalt, and we're going to knock out 3 wide and 4 tall all underneath this. This will be where the UP shield goes. So we'll put 2 rows of redstone block and 2 rows of lapis lazuli block. We'll put our stripe banners on bottom and just a blank blue banner across the top to be the UP shield. And then we'll do it on the other side, but it's opposite up here because of where the blower is. So up here, it's going to be under this front polished basalt. So same thing, we'll knock out this 3 going all the way down to the bottom. Then we put in 2 rows of redstone block, 2 rows of lapis lazuli. Put our stripe banners on bottom and our blue banners on top. Now we're going to do our letter banners, and we don't have enough spaces in our hotbar, so we'll do it word by word. Come into a loom, yellow banner, red die. Put a vertical on the left, a vertical on the right, horizontal on bottom. New banner. Vertical on the left, vertical on the right, and a diagonal. New banner. Vertical in the middle, horizontal on top, horizontal on bottom. New banner. Vertical on the left, vertical on the right, horizontal on top, horizontal on bottom. Then we'll come put the word Union on before we do the word Pacific. So we're going to come up on the side here, and we're going to start right here under that second polish andesite stair, and we're going to spell Union with a gap of space between each banner. I didn't put borders on these ones so the letters can be big and bold. Then we'll come down and do the banners on the other side here. So same thing on this end, except we're starting at the rear this time. We're going to put our banner under the second polish andesite stair. And of course I put the wrong one up, and then when I went to delete it, I deleted a block. So we put the U there, and then I had to go get yellow concrete for the block I deleted. And then same thing, we're just going to spell out Union with a block of space between each letter. Now I'm going to clear my hotbar of all these banners, but we're keeping the letter I because we need it. And keep your banner and your yellow and red die as well. And we'll come back up to our loom so we can do the word Pacific. So same thing here, come into the loom with the yellow banner and red die. We're going to put a vertical on the left and then make the top half red. New banner. Vertical on the left, vertical on the right, horizontal on top, horizontal in the middle. New banner. Vertical on the left, horizontal on top, horizontal on bottom. And finally, one more banner, vertical on the left, horizontal on top, horizontal in the middle. Now we'll come up on the side of the locomotive here, and for this one, we're going to start right in front of that walkway, and we're just going to spell out the word Pacific with a block of space between each one. And of course, for some reason, whenever I do banners, I can never place them right. So make sure it's spelled right. Don't be like me. Then we got to do it on the other side here, so we get Union Pacific on the other side. So come around the other side here, and same thing, it's starting right in front of that gap, and spell out Pacific. And of course, I spelled it wrong again. And just make sure you're leaving a block of space between each letter. So now we have Union Pacific on both sides. Now come above this second wheel of this back truck here and knock out the fence above it, and then one to either side of that. We're going to replace it with sandstone wall, 3 long and 2 tall. There's like these boxes here, I'm not sure what they're for. So we got to do the same thing over here. So come around the back of the locomotive, and it's going to be the same thing On this second wheel back of this back truck, knock out the one above it and one to either side, and then a 3x2 of walls. Now we'll do the interior, so come on in through this nose door. We're going to spin around, and we're going to take smooth stone slabs right here and stack it up on each side to the bottom of the window. Then we'll come in this section, right here, put an end portal for a toilet. Then on this side, 2 blast furnace for some electronic boxes. Then we'll raise our slabs up along the middle to the same level as the door, come 2 forward and put 1 single slab in front of it for a stair. Then we're going to stack up this whole side till it comes up to the bottom of that red nether brick. And same thing over here, stack it up to the bottom of that red nether brick. Put an item frame in the middle with a compass for a gauge and a lever for the engineer. Turn around and put 2 stairs in to be seats. Then we're going to put 2 slabs behind the engineer with a lever because the handbrake's actually in the cab on this one. Then I'm going to put 1 more here and extend the stairs out like this, and we can actually fit through it, so that works, so it's good. Then we're going to take out another door here, and we'll put a door across this, so this bathroom nose area is all enclosed. Then we're going to come down to the back here, and we're going to put 2 blast furnace and a glowstone to light the cab. And now we've completed the interior. Now I'm just checking to make sure we fit through everything, so we can get through those stairs, we can get around that blower, walk down the side of the locomotive, we can fit through this gap, so everything's good to go. Now we're going to come up on the nose here to make this headlight look better, so take out an item frame, put it over that glowstone, and another glowstone inside of it. Then, to the right hand side of the door here, run a ladder up the nose. Then we got to do our horn. So we come on top behind this first fan in this gap, knock out the middle carpet, and open a dark oak fence gate to be the horn. And there you have it, folks. We finally completed this Union Pacific DDA40X Centennial locomotive, the biggest diesel locomotive ever. And I thank you all if you've stuck around this long, because this was one of our longest videos ever, but I think it turned out really well. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and everyone have a great week. Stay safe out there.